Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my fourth YouTube video. If you haven't already watched at least the first and third videos about my spiritual awakening and the visions that I've had, you will want to watch those as a precursor to this one. So have a look if you haven't already. Today I want to talk about sort of the third vision that I had during my spiritual awakening, and they happen similar to the previous two. But this one was much shorter, much quicker. It was not a long, drawn-out sort of visioning process with a ton of downloads, but it was sort of a quicker flash vision that I unpacked after, I think, several weeks of ruminating and processing, and it packed a powerful punch, this vision, but it was quick. So the vision that I had was that basically, I saw a big round ball of light. And it was almost like I was heading down a tunnel, and at the end of the tunnel was this big, like, fiery ball that was just spinning, almost like what I imagined the core of the earth would look like. And while in my first vision, you might remember, I was having visions of comets and bright lights that were quite far away, distant. But the thing that sort of caught my attention in this particular vision was that it was very close. And with that came the message that, you know, things are happening quickly. You're very close. What you're seeking is not as far away as you might think. So I just got this overwhelming sense of, it's close, you're not far away. And what it is, I didn't know at the time. And so that was exciting. And that kind of got me excited. Like, I started feeling excitement, almost like when you're standing in line for a roller coaster or a ride of some kind, and you're a little bit nervous, excited, but excited nonetheless, and your heart starts pounding and beating, and your palms start sweating, and you're just like in complete anticipation of what's going to happen. That was the feeling that I started to get. My heart started to race. I started to feel excited, and I wasn't doing anything in particular. I was just sort of sitting there, and nothing in my external world was sort of causing this, but the vision that I was having was causing me to become very excited. And with this, I could feel almost like, and I've explained this to friends before, as though, have you ever seen a rowing machine, and when you pull on the rowing machine, the fan kind of winds up or really accelerates? Or if you've had one of those old, like, salad spinners from the 1980s where you push the button or you turn the wheel and you can kind of feel that internal, like, revving of an engine or a fan or a salad spinner or whatever it is. That's what my heart felt like. It felt like my heart was winding up, and the excitement was just getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And the messages I was getting was like, there's a party and everyone's invited. Or there's something on the other side of this, spinning ball of energy at the end of this short tunnel that you're in. And when you're on the other side of it, like everyone's invited to come on the other side of it, was kind of the message that I got. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go towards this spinning ball of energy then. And it was very quick, but I saw a split second, well, not even, it felt like a split second, but it was really probably a couple of minutes it was like I made it to the other side of this spinning ball of energy. It was like it was a veil that got lifted, and I was now on the other side. And I had this vision, very crisp, clear vision of walking out of my house onto my street, and all of my, not all of them, but the majority of my neighbors coming out onto the street, and we're all looking at each other like, are you experiencing this? Are you experiencing this? Did you feel what just happened? Like, did you come through the veil too? Like, almost like everybody knew what had happened, and we just kind of looked at each other like, oh my God, life has just shifted or changed in some monstrous way. And so I'm on the street and I'm gathered there, and as I look at each individual, it's like we don't even need to say anything to each other. This is just happening telepathically, and we're like, we've all just experienced the same lifting of the veil, so to speak. It's like there was a big giant secret and we were all in on it, and we all of us knew about it, and we were like sharing in the glory of all being there together and all understanding and having this new deepening understanding of reality. And at the time I was like, that's weird. Like, why am I imagining, first of all, my neighbors out in my front driveway or my street, and okay, what does this all mean? So really, that was the extent of the vision. But get this. So this is it was like winter time. So it was snowing actually when I was having this vision. And I really was like, okay, well, maybe something's going to happen and we're all going to experience it together and it's going to bring us closer towards unity. Like, that's kind of how I was deciphering the vision at the time. And I'm not far off, I don't think. But the kicker and the thing for me that was like just very confirming. Confirming is the word. Validating, I guess, is another good word to use. The thing that was super validating was the next day, and this never happened. Like, this had never happened to me before anyways. The next day, my kids are playing out in the snow, jumping into snowdrifts, across the street on the neighbor's driveway. And some of the other neighborhood kids started pouring out, and a couple of the parents wandered on by because, they're supervising their kids or whatever. And pretty soon, it hit me. I was standing out on the street with all the neighbors from my vision, and this never happens, not a usual thing. Okay? I'm standing there with all the neighbors from my vision in the exact same positioning that we were, like this person on my left, this person across from me, this person on my right, just like in my vision. The external looked different because it was snowing and it wasn't snowing in my vision. But I was standing there and I was like, holy shit, I had a premonition yesterday. Like, this was a premonition, and this was when my psychic abilities really started to kick in. I had already been experiencing very significant synchronicities, but this was like the first bona fide premonition, seeing something in full for an extended period of time and very crisp and clearly before it happened. I've had little things like that happen to me before throughout my life, but this was like I had just had the vision the previous day and then it happened. Only I wasn't getting the sense that, they were all in on this secret. I felt like, oh, okay, maybe I'm the only one that's sort of, thinking that part yet. But I got this feeling like Source was trying to tell me there's a party, everyone's invited, and by party, I think Source means like the ability to ascend, the ability to enter into higher dimensions of consciousness. And everybody is invited, meaning that it's possible for everyone to do this if they're willing to do the work. And by work, I mean, shadow work, letting go of trauma, limiting beliefs, programming, and purifying the physical vessel also. And I'm going to talk more about that in future videos. I've got my celery juice this morning. So this was a very a very intense experience because I had the vision the night before, and then immediately the next day, it literally manifested and transpired. And I think, too, upon reflection after that, I think that it was trying to show me the power of manifestation, too. Because when I was excited and when my heart was doing the rowing fan thing, dialing up like that, and my energy, my vibration, I could literally feel my vibration rising. I had this vision of all the neighbors coming together, and then the next day it happened. So that to me was confirmation or validation that when we believe something, when we truly believe or experience something or envision something, when we're in that high vibrational state or that high energy state, it manifests, and it manifests quickly. So do not underestimate the power of your vibrational state and your ability to envision the future. And when you are in that high vibe state, make the most of it. Imagine, dream, envision, set goals like crazy, because they're going to manifest way quicker. And it's still my dream. I still hold that vision in my heart when I'm having, high vibrational moments. I hold that vision in my heart because one day I do want to walk out there and be able to telepathically communicate with my neighbors and know that they're in on the secret, and that we all are invited to this wild party called Ascension, and it is possible for everyone if you're willing to do the work. And even as I was out there experiencing the real experience of being out on the street with my neighbors, the kids playing in the snow, I was like, I just need to hold on to this moment. Like, I manifested this. I brought this into reality. I need to, honor it. It was like a sacred moment that I just held so dearly in my heart, because I was like, wow, this is literally proof that our reality is what we make it, and that we really are creator beings. And honestly, for the longest time, I thought, oh, it was the solar flash that it was showing me, and that, on the other side of the solar flash, all my neighbors and everyone on the planet is going to just all of a sudden have this deep inner knowing of everything that's going on, and how we're ascending, and how we're accessing multiple dimensions, and how we're evolving as a species. But in doing that, I was, in even talking about the solar flash, and yes, I have the Great Awakening posters behind me, and I love them because they are such amazing conversation pieces, and, there's no shortage of things to search on your search engine on that poster, and it sort of gets the for me, the hope flowing. So I really enjoy the posters. But as far as the Great Solar Flash is concerned, I think as long as we're looking for something external outside of us to fix things, or to bring in these abilities, or this, telepathy, for instance, if we're just waiting for some solar flash to come in and make that happen for us, we're going to be, I think, waiting for a long time. I think that those gifts and the wild experience of being able to manifest instantaneously, and being able to have psychic abilities, and use telepathy, and have that knowing of our true origins and what we're capable of, and that we're all creator beings. I believe that is possible now. I believe each individual has the ability to access those gifts. I know because I'm doing it from experience. When I think about where I was 3, 4, 5 years ago, I am a whole new person. If I've got friends and old colleagues, and Lord knows who's watching this, but I am not probably the same person that you knew when you met me. I'm not the same person I was 2 weeks ago. So we all have the ability to shed that density, to shed those layers, to be our highest self version of ourselves, and that's never ending. Like you can continue to go up infinitely, all the way to source. And I really do believe that. Am I there yet? No, I've had glimpses of it. I've had glimpses and experiences. I have had one experience of being source, and I'll talk about that on my next video. Yeah, that was my fourth visioning experience. So I will talk about that. But this one with the golden rotating ball and going through it like a veil, and seeing my neighbors on the other side and everybody understanding and knowing, and then having a vision just like that with my neighbors in the same positioning. The very next day, it just was an extremely powerful experience of what high vibration can do in terms of manifestation, but also the fact that we are all, that was the biggest message I got from this whole experience, is that we're all invited. So it's not just, you because you're spiritual, and you because, you've done major cleansing. No, everyone, despite regardless of your life circumstances, everyone is invited. Everyone has the capability to do this. You just need to be able to hold light and love in your heart. I'd better go. Someone's at my door. But thank you everyone so much for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.